It comes in the package.
I don't know why I'm defending the Beast so much.
I think it's
I
your
don't
inner
know
furry
why you are.
symptoms.
I don't know why you're so obsessed with him.
I don't know.
I did put a little disclaimer that the cold open is very embarrassing for me.
No, girl, you served.
Let me reenact it right now.
I don't know what
it was cute though. It was cute.
I took off my jacket and
trying to
proceeded
do
to
your
be showing off my weenuses, and it was so awkward. It looked
hey.
weird.
You know, I was the one the previous episode with my toes spread. I had somebody tell me, oh, why are you spreading your toes like that? And I'm like, I have been partially branded as a foot freak, which I do not. I mean, condone,
you guys are talking about
dude. At least you
earlier.
can spread your toes. Mrs. Web Toes over here.
Miss Web Toes over here. Hello, and welcome back to Chai Chatter. On today's menu, we will be ranking various things on tier lists with a side of various warm beverages. What do you ladies have today?
I have my trusty lemon green tea.
Very nice.
I have just some coffee.
Oh,
I don't know if that's allowed.
Coffee.
I know this is called Chai Chatter.
Yeah, we're a strictly tea-based
Where's
podcast.
the chai?
But, where's the chai and coffee? Well,
we'll accept it. We'll accept it reluctantly.
We'll accept it, but 3 strikes and we can't call this a tea podcast anymore. I've just got Mary Mistletoe from the David's Tea collection. Let's preface this by saying that we have filmed this episode before, but technologically it was a bit of a hot mess. Alright, okay, so we're gonna start off with ranking the Disney princess. And you know what I realized is that we forgot to reset.
Oh crap. Well,
reverse.
Don't look at it. You don't remember. Who are these guys? Should we do Prince Eric? Because clearly he's
standing
too cool
out
to be a picture.
Yeah,
he's
little
standing
camera
out a
shy
bit.
there.
This man, a bit of a himbo.
yeah.
Right?
Good hair. Good hair.
Yeah.
Good hair, nice
yeah.
eyes.
I think it's odd that the voice is what sold him on
True.
someone who's like, yep, that voice, that's the thing I'm marrying.
Yeah, it always annoyed me how
that
quick
felt.
he switched up on Ariel, The second that
Exactly.
Vanessa showed up.
Do you feel like he did anything substantial in the movie? If I remember correctly, wasn't he the one that killed Ursula?
He did do that. He did do that.
He did do that, so
He
we'll give
has
him
his
that.
moments.
We'll give him that. What are we thinking? Should we put him, since he's our first prince, just middle of the road C and just move him down?
Sure, for now, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's pretty just he's there. The end.
C for Under the Sea. All right. Ooh. Okay. Next is who's that? What's that guy's name?
Yeah, we
Florian.
established this.
Florian.
Prince Florian.
He
gets seen for all of 5 minutes.
He creeps over the wall at Snow White at the first part, and then he has a white horse. That's pretty cool. But then he shows up at the end of the movie and just kind of kisses her without knowing that it breaks a spell.
Just kissing a dead
so he just
girl.
kisses a dead girl. Necrophilia.
And he thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
She's in a casket. She looks
Exactly.
dead.
Yeah.
He's like, I know I wouldn't be able to get some if she was
I'd
alive.
say F tier.
F tier. F for Florian. John Smith. What do we think of John Smith?
Historically big
Historically.
no-no.
I think the thing is, it's hard for me to judge him as a character because the movie Pocahontas, I always just would think about the historical roots and I was like, nah, I can't watch that shit. I just don't know a lot about him other than the historical true events.
Do we put him in F as well? For
Yeah,
now,
sure,
I guess.
Sure. They both suck,
Okay.
I don't think
Flynn Rider.
S tier, baby.
F tier.
Mr. Flynn
This guy
Rider.
does a lot. We should just explain why these other princes gotta get on this man's level, right? So he has his own personality. He actually does a lot in the movie. He's very entertaining, and he genuinely it isn't he sees Rapunzel for the first time and he's like, I'm a fall in love. In fact, he took a took a frying pan to the face.
He actually has, like, the most character development out of, I think, any of the princes. Like, he really goes from, like, start of the movie, or he has, like, you know, the smirk, and he's all, you know, just being all smug about everything. And then he grows as a character. Yeah, the smolder, that's what it is. The smolder.
The smolder, the suave, the charm. Yeah. All right. And he's also down to earth. He's not even a prince, technically, right? He's...
And, like, he literally is ready to just, like, do anything for Rapunzel. Like, he truly cares about her.
The only thing about him, though, is not the best hairdresser, to be honest. You know, when he cut her hair. I mean, it was with the mirror shot or whatever. Yeah. Like, I can't do any better. My hair looks like this.
He didn't have scissors.
But, you know, still S tier.
I don't know.
But
it's stylish in its own way.
Yeah,
he's such an S tier.
A little chunky bob.
S for stylish. Mr. Beast. Now, last time, Diana said something very bold about this guy. Will you go ahead and say, repeat what you said last time?
I said he was better as the Beast. So, I mean, if we're judging him, if we're judging the Beast as the Beast, I'm definitely saying, like, A or B. But if it's Adam, the human version, definitely, like, B or C in my mind.
They're the same person.
No, they're not. One of them's the Beast, and one of them is Adam. You know?
Wait, why do you like him better as the Beast? His appearance, like physically?
I don't know. I get this vibe whenever I watch the movie, and whenever he turns into a human, it's just like, it's not him anymore, you know? It's like all the personality,
Diana,
all the character that's been building is just like zapped out of him. I don't know.
You like the danger and the insecurity, okay? Him as a Beast is dangerous and very insecure about himself. That's what you like.
Alright, I'm a little gaslighter,
okay?
manipulator. I see how it is.
I think I will say him turning into the human is mildly jarring, just because they didn't have, like, similar features between the human and Beast
like, that's why it doesn't feel like...
I feel like we have to mention that the Beast did start off by taking her prisoner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just a little, like, you know, little bit of a...
Yeah, but, like, I mean, she was in prison for, like, what, 2 minutes, and then she was in, like, the swankiest room you've ever seen.
Okay,
but still under captivity.
Okay, like, but like also if we're gonna put Flynn Rider in S tier because of like character development, you know, by the end of the movie, the Beast is no longer, I feel like, someone who would put someone in captivity. I'm just kind of getting those vibes. So I think that, you know, he has some character development.
He does develop. But at the same time, like, you can't help but, like, think about not only just the kidnapping, but also the anger issues at the beginning. Like, there's some, like, red flags just flying around everywhere.
Yeah. I think maybe he became a better person because his problem was solved, you know? Like, he didn't have to, you know? So, again, if he had failed and was still a Beast, he might be a little bit pissed off. So... B for Beast.
Okay, yeah, sure.
B for Beast.
C for captivity.
C for catfishing. in like
I don't know, catfishing's the word.
Because okay, anyway. So C for now?
Okay, fine. C for now, but B maybe later.
Okay. Prince Charming.
Very himbo energy.
Very himbo. Okay, so in terms of him versus Eric, at least Eric has a feat, which is that he kills the big
but Prince Charming has feet. He loves feet.
Yeah,
Prince Charming has...
But, like, other than that, what does he have?
He has the big...
He's got the foot thing going for him, but, you know.
Last time what we talked about is how this fool is, like, so dumb that he didn't even look the girl in the face. Like, he only remembers her for her shoes. For some reason, it would be so much easier just to... But what I think that we should really, like, you know, read between the lines, which is that he really just has a foot fetish.
What is very jarring, though, is that wasn't even, like... the person who fits this shoe and is a blonde. I don't, like, anything? Foot, you didn't notice anything about her?
I mean, though, to be fair...
That's all I got for you.
She has glass slippers. Like, you can see right through them, you know? Like... Just kidding, no, because that sounds like I'm saying that, like, she was asking to have her feet looked at, which is not the case. I'm just making a joke. Don't apply this to the real world.
Feet fetishes aside, what do we think of him? Where does he land on all of this?
Yeah. He's a tier down from Eric. He's like D for dumb. Yeah. D for dummy.
Yeah.
You know? Aladdin.
I like Aladdin.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Got some character development, too.
I think he's pretty cool. He's a nice carpet and monkey.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is...
Yeah, the package
That's
deal.
not the prince.
It comes in the package.
Yeah. You could say it's a bit vain that he was like, yeah, I may as well my wishes become a prince.
Yeah, but he learns his lesson afterwards.
He's not at the top for me. Like, he's pretty good. Like, he has, like, some flaws, but, like, he's not nearly as bad as most Disney princes.
Yeah.
A for Aladdin.
Yeah.
Prince Phillip.
So, here's the thing. He does more than Sleeping Beauty by, like, far, but at the same time, they just kind of like see each other a couple times, like they just sort of run into each other, and it's like, and it's
at
they
least
don't
they
really
did
know
have
each
a date,
other
though. Like it's not as bad as Snow White.
I
and
guess
he kills Maleficent at the end, and he only commits necrophilia because he knows that that's what Aurora needs, right? So for the amount of stuff he does in the movie, I almost want to give him like a B.
It's just he's so. Maybe
a B.
I don't know. He's very bland.
He's boring.
He's boring.
No, oh yeah. Okay. C. He's Eric.
Yeah,
too.
He's not as
Eric
stupid
too.
as Prince Charming.
I don't feel like Beast belongs in the same tier as Phillip and Eric. You know, he's just a little bit more complex than them.
Okay.
I would say.
I guess. Right? Okay, yeah, we can move him up.
Li Shang?
He is a bi icon.
Yes.
He doesn't care. You can tell that he likes Mulan before he even knows that she's a girl. He's seen this man and is like, oh damn.
It's kind of cool, you know, he's like a general. Yeah. He really cares about his troops. But then he also has the complex part where he's like shouldering the responsibility of, being in charge of this army. I feel like he's middle of the road. Like, he's a good character. For me, probably Aladdin tier or B tier.
I was thinking A tier.
Right?
Yeah.
He's a good guy, you know?
Okay. Lastly, we have Naveen.
I've always really liked Prince Naveen, so I would like to see him higher up on the spectrum.
He's kind of a dick at the start. Let's be real.
You know, character development.
Naveen, like, he's very morally askew for the first long portion of the film. And then at the end, he's helping out, is all, like, sweet. It's a nice little montage at the end. For most of the film, he is still very self-centered. It's very all about him.
B tier?
It makes me sad to see him all the way down in B tier, but I'll allow it.
Alrighty, so now we're going to move on to fast food restaurants, some of which are near and dear to our hearts, and other ones which we can write many essays about.
For going out to eat places, I don't go out often, so when I do, I know exactly the order which, like, I prefer fast food places. So I am opinionated over here.
Let's just start with, my true love, my real Valentine's date, Mr. Tim Hortons.
We love
delicious. Just, I remember last time what we talked about is just like the memories of it being a super cold day. You just walk into the building of a Tim's, you smell the coffee, the atmosphere.
The one by our school, it has the fireplace and the comfy chairs in it.
Yeah, that's cute.
Like, it's made to be a cute, cozy place, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's a Canadian staple.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yes. As a Canadian, we have to put it S tier. Right.
And not only is it, like, the drinks are good, but also, like, their, like, meals, their sandwiches and wraps and that sort of stuff, those are also really good.
The wedge fries are really good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They've branched out to the point where you can go to a Tim's and just satisfy everything. You know, you can get dessert, you can get a nice drink, and you can get a meal, So, New York fries. Poutine specialists.
New York fries is lovely for me. I have some wonderful memories of, it's one of those places where I think it's primarily for me, like, going with friends and, like, pouring it out onto a thing and splitting it. That one is very, got that feels for me.
The only, downside as a fast food restaurant, if we're going to compare it to everything else on this list, is that, it's not very diverse. Like, it only serves poutine and hot dogs, I think.
And no one eats the hot dogs.
No one. Oh well. I gotta come out and say something here, which is the regular poutine is like $6.29.
Yeah.
And I'm a cheap girl, so if I'm just looking for anything to eat, and I'm like, oh, the hot dog is only $4, I might get the hot dog.
I guess.
That's another thing about New York fries. They are a little bit pricey, and honestly,
that's true.
I might be saying something a little controversial here, but I actually prefer the Costco poutine over the New York fries poutine. I don't know why. Like, the Costco poutine is like, you can tell that, like, the fries are, like, old and from a bag, and, like, the cheese is all, like, sticky or whatever. But I don't know, like, it's good for some reason, and I'm pretty sure it's only, like, $3. So, New York fries ain't all that.
Maybe it tastes better because it is $3 cheaper. Yeah,
that might be it, too.
That would be for me.
Like, I'm sure if I went to, like, Quebec or something and, like, actually got, like, a poutine there,
the New York fries would be
then I'd
trash.
be like, I just blow New York fries out the water. But, like, for now, from what we know here in the prairies, it's pretty good.
Yeah, would we say B tier?
C or B, yeah.
I'm fine with either of those. I'll let you guys fight out. Like, I personally really like it there, but I do see the issues with there not being nearly enough diversity in their food.
We'll go B and knock it down if there's something later on. Yeah. Okay, Subway! Another S for Subway for me.
I think so, yeah.
I love Subway.
It tastes really good. It tastes really fresh. It's customizable. It also is the only place that just feels healthy. Like, I feel like I'm actually eating a meal.
Probably not good for you, but it has the illusion that it's good for you. And that's
Plus
all I need.
Plus the cookies.
Yeah. The cookies. Starbucks. I have a bit of a stigma against Starbucks because I remember, like, back when maybe this was like 2014, it was really kind of in mainstream culture, like, the Starbucks lattes, the whole pumpkin spice latte thingamabob. Starbucks has a really good atmosphere, but it's like it's like you take something like a Brewed Awakening, a Stone's Throw, a legit cafe, you make it like a chain thingy, and then because the prices are essentially the same, but I feel like you get a tiny little cake pop for $5 versus like at an actual cafe you would get maybe a cheesecake for that amount.
The thing about non-chain like coffee shops is also you're supporting local when you go to one of them, but when you're at Starbucks obviously you're not. But I actually really like Starbucks. Yes, it's overpriced, but I enjoy the atmosphere. I have spent many a night just like in Starbucks studying or just like talking with a friend or something, so I'm pretty okay with it, but also I can't acknowledge that it's very much overpriced.
Yeah.
I will say I am never fully satisfied with their food there. I almost never get it.
I wouldn't get food there. No.
And I don't even mean just because it's expensive.
Their pastries are so dry.
It's so dry. It's awful. So I mean, even though it's on a fast food thing, it's really just a drink place because the food's dry.
So I would say C for costly, but again, I'm a bit of a Starbucks hater.
Say my solution is they have the like glass bottled versions of them where you can get like the mocha or whatever type in the glass bottle, and those you can get at Dollarama for way cheaper. So that's my piece of advice. Go to Dollarama, buy a handful of those, and then just like put them in the fridge a bit before you want to like have it, like the night before you want to drink it. Boom.
For me, Starbucks is kind of the same as New York fries. Like, I can list a lot of things that are obviously wrong with it, but at the end of the day, I'm like, ooh, New York fries. Ooh, Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot similar in that way.
Bring New York fries down with Starbucks to see.
I think they should be together.
Okay, we had a lot to say, or not a lot, but a lot to say about Wendy's. Not a lot, as in we barely know that much about Wendy's, but like I know that the one time that I did go there, like I thought, I noticed the quality. I was like, oh, this is a pretty good burger. But again, I don't know what my standards are. I'm not really a burger connoisseur and anything. I did dress up as Wendy last Halloween just because I had an outfit that was and I had red hair.
I haven't been to Wendy's that much, and I'm sure their food is great, but the reason why I'm not a big fan of them is because we talked about this when we were filming before, but they kind of started the whole, like, sassy food,
Twitter
fast
account.
food chain, like, Twitter account.
Millennial.
Like, whole phenomenon, and, like, there's nothing more in this world that I hate more than that, so.
You know what? I mean, it can be somewhat annoying because, like, now every brand does it, like Mr. Lube, and that's like every single thing does it.
Literally.
But I want to say,
who cares about Mr. Lube?
I want to give props to them because that was like a genius idea. That was like the biggest marketing move. That is that's $0 marketing right there.
Give them props for being one of the first brands. At least.
Yeah, true.
You know, because if we're talking about a Mr. Lube that just followed in this, and then it would seem like, you know, a bunch of old people in an HQ being like, this is what the cool kids are doing. But at least these guys thought of it first.
And the thing is, at least Wendy's is like can be an actual character because they actually have the character of Wendy's. But like, like literal Mr. Lube and like Bran Flakes doing it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard because in my mind, when I think about Wendy's, I think of it as like, oh yeah, it probably is a better place to go. It probably, like, they do the salads that are supposed to be nice there. Like, it is supposed to be, like, you know, good, like, meat being used and everything. Except, at the same time, if there is anywhere else, Wendy's is just so forgettable.
B, because again, I feel like C is a bit hard on the actual quality of it. A and W. So I have a friend that loves this place. This is her favorite fast food restaurant. For me personally, I really like the Buddy Burgers because they are the cheapest thing in the menu and probably like the cheapest good food you can get at Cornwall.
I really like the food. I think it tastes good. They have a lot of cool options. They have a bunch of stuff that like these other fast food places, to my knowledge, don't have, like yam fries, which I really like. Their root beer, which I really like.
The sides and the root beer, because they have the onion rings and all that sort of stuff, it's great. But what I will commend them on, and what I think is really good, is how many options they have on their menu for, like, accessibility to a wider, like, audience.
True.
Because they have, not only do they have the Beyond Beef having the, you know, vegetarian options and that sort of stuff, they also have the option to, instead of having a bun, have the lettuce wrap. And even though I've heard that is a disaster because it's a mess, at least then people who are celiac and that sort of stuff, at least they can still have the choice.
Yeah, the A&W guy, you know the guy that does those commercials? And he's like, I've got 5 seconds to convince you about A&W. So A&W, like, same tier as Wendy's?
Another thing I think we should consider is I actually really like the vibe of A&W. You know, they sort of have this, I don't know why, but like it seems like every single fast food restaurant is like renovating their stores to have this like cold industrial feel, which is just so weird. Like, y'all sell milkshakes, shut up. But at least A&W kind of has kept with this sort of like bright orange, funky, 50s
I will say
inspired aesthetic.
It's retro. It's retro.
They have modernized the inside a bit of some of them, but the outside keeps the bright orange. True. I hate when I see a McDonald's and it's like entirely gray with like just like a white M. I'm like, nah, don't try to kid anyone.
Like, are you trying to be Earls right now? We
literally,
like Burger King. Like, you know, we know it as the spot in which people cash other people outside. I've had a couple meals from there, and I'm not like, you know, a diehard fan, nor am I a hater. It's kind of the same thing as Wendy's to me.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. I just don't like Burger King. I don't know what really. I think I don't like their buns maybe as much.
For me, it's like Burger King is just a slightly elevated McDonald's. Like, their stores are always very dirty. There's always shit on the floor. But that's the same for like McDonald's.
Yeah.
And like, but it's slightly better than McDonald's because they have onion rings. And that's the only reason.
Oh, yeah.
I think, you know why it's... Okay, so it's in the same tier of ratchetness as McDonald's, but I think because it's less popular, less people go there to make a mess, and that's why it's cleaner. It's the same standard, but just, you know, because less people go there. It's just less popular.
Which makes it better.
That's why it's nicer. D for... don't like?
I think even one below there. I want to put it lower. I'd move it down to E.
Okay. E for...
I mean, the one thing is, though, it's decently cheap. Like, if you want food, you'll get food.
D for decently cheap. Next one, a childhood love. Dairy Queen. This is what Diana was mentioning about, like, the vibe of a place. Like, Dairy Queen has that kind of charming diner style. Like, all of the restaurants have really good lighting. They sell lots of ice cream
I have to disagree about the vibe in there. Because it is a vibe, but I find it as a different vibe. Because in my memory, the only time I would actually eat inside the building for a Dairy Queen is if we were on a road trip. So for me, that's the place when you're, like, half asleep and you've been driving for 6 hours and you go in and you're eating some like chicken strips. That's the vibe I get from there. And it's good. It's a good, like, you know, family vibe, but it's not quite the
I really like it. Good food.
Yeah.
Very cheap. Great meal deals. The $7 meal
Very
deal, the
good
$5
meal deals.
And
I
obviously
love the meal deals.
what it's known for, fantastic ice cream.
Just a DQ quarter pounder flamethrower burger.
S tier? Yeah.
Maybe not all the way S tier. Maybe like A tier.
What? Didn't we do S tier last time?
I think it's an S tier. I think that
no, we put
I
A
think
tier
it's an
before.
S.
we put Subway in A and we put DQ in S. The other thing I mentioned is they're really bad for cross-contamination, so people with allergies sometimes have issues there. Everyone loves the ice cream there. It's one of those things that can just bring everyone in. People like the food.
Maybe not lactose intolerant people. No, even them.
I know
they
someone
can admit
who
it's good.
used to not be able to have milk, and they were considering just like risking it all for like.
Managed to convince my mom to take me out to a fast food restaurant once a year. I had a sad childhood, okay? And this is why I love DQ, because DQ was the only one she was familiar with.
Alright, sure. S tier.
Alright. McDonald's! We talked about, you know, when we spoke about Burger King, like the level of just the standard of ratchetness, perhaps. Me and Chantel actually applied to McDonald's and we never heard back from them. It's everywhere. It's quite cheap. The commercials always make the burgers look amazing, but in real life they are so sad. Like at least you know, with the Wendy's, with A&W, like the burgers kind of look like the advertisement. But McDonald's doesn't even need to try. You know, it knows that you will go there in your time of weakness at 3 a.m. You know, so
it is the worst thing in existence. I hate it. I despise it. It is the worst place I can imagine. And I remember occasionally going when I was younger. But the thing is, almost every time I'd eat there, and now every single time I eat there, it literally makes me sick. Like, I can't eat their food without getting sick. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's just McDonald's that's like this. But it's awful. It's terrible.
What they got going for them is McDonald's, again, is one of the most iconic places. Like, I really like their fries, I guess. And, you know, might be the lowest denominator of fast food restaurants. They're just so universal, so iconic. I feel like I want to give it an E for everywhere, at least.
Yeah, no matter where you go, there's always going to be a McDonald's. And that's why, that's the only kind of, like, thing that I do like about it is that if you want food and you really don't care, like, if you're really not picky about food and you just want a snack and it's late at night, McDonald's, there will be a McDonald's there to provide you with what you want.
It's like a booty call, you know? McDonald's is your booty call. It doesn't have to try. For our last tier list, we're going to go and rank our old episodes. So this will be a spicy one. First episode, we were a little bit, like, still figuring, it just rough. Like, it wasn't even necessarily like us not knowing what to do in front of the camera, but it was just like the flow of our conversation. Plus the topic was kind of boring. It was like school during COVID. So yeah, I gotta give that one like a
lower score, definitely.
It like E.
I remember while filming that one, we ended up doing a lot of stopping and being like, okay, what do we now? We're gonna move on to the like we did a lot of pausing and then talking. Continuing going. Episode 2.
I personally really like this. I think our energy in it was really high because that day we just raided Chantel's pantry and just like had a bunch of chocolate and snacks, and also the topic was our childhood. So, you know, we talked about Barbie movies, Disney movies, just like you know, elementary school. Like, it was a fun episode.
Especially from the first one, that one was already like improvement right off the bat.
Definitely.
B or A tier?
Maybe B and then move it up later if we feel like it.
Yeah, B because we have some good episodes.
Episode 3. So you guys did not like this one as much I just really like the subjects that we talked about. But now that I've thought about it, I do agree. So in this episode, like, we touched on a lot of different things, and although there was a lot to say, it just felt like we didn't necessarily mean everything or like feel like we were completely 100% in agreement with the things that we were pushing for.
Yeah. We were saying things to make content. Because I remember doing things like, well, but what if this happened? Or like I'd keep on pushing up the stakes, but like...
This one I would give like a D.
I always just look back at this episode with a bit of regret, because there's this one section at the very end where we're talking about whether or not, like, what's right or wrong is relative, and I was like, I feel like there's an argument for why certain things could be objectively right or wrong, or not necessarily even that, but just why I don't think that 100% relevant to what relativism is correct. But I couldn't remember it at the moment, so I just kept on being like, but I feel like... And then, like, the next day, I remembered what my argument was, and it was moral progress. The fact that relativism sort of, if everything is already not right or wrong, throughout history, there's been moral progress, and we've improved and become more moral over time.
Oh, that's a good point.
See? And I didn't remember it in the moment.
All right, so that one, a D?
Yeah.
Wise.
Okay, episode 4. So this one was our Halloween episode. We talked about our fears, horror movies, seasons, costumes. Like, it was for the topic, which was like very broad and a little bit more lighthearted. I feel like we actually had a lot of things to say.
I feel like the ones that were very focused on like this season or this time or this specific like personal how we are, about what we think. I always don't like those ones as much because maybe it's just me thinking that like the things I say aren't important. But it's just sort of... I like just talking about the fears, though. I like the fears.
Maybe a C?
Yeah, sure. Like, it was fine, but it's just kind of forgettable in my mind.
Episode 5, our lost episode.
No.
Oh, it's so sad. You know, okay, basically we had lost the audio, me being dumb. But yeah, so basically, you know, we try a bunch of Asian snacks. We all tried the Korean nuclear fire noodle challenge. You know, we downed... we downed half a liter of milk.
No. We drank 2 liters or something ridiculous.
Oh, sorry.
I probably had a whole liter on my own.
Half a jug of milk. Diana ended up throwing up. There was a lot of burping that was not caught on camera. So unfortunate. And we also had the bit at the start with the skeleton, and that was funny.
We were having such a good time with that one. It was such a fun episode. It was one of the ones where it's been like, hey, watch these 2 white girls be enlightened about all the wonderful snacks that have been bought.
And also, shrimp crackers. My life was changed.
Shrimp crackers. Yeah, her life has changed. So this, like, honestly, if it was, like, a full episode, it would have been an S tier. Yeah. But I feel like we have to judge it on what it was, which is just a bit of a recap with me trying to awkwardly voice over. So, like, a D for me. When the pandemic slows down, maybe we all are vaccinated and we're cleared, we should, like, feast once again.
Yes.
Yeah. Episode 6. Another one of those episodes in the same tier as episode 1, where we just talk about school and COVID.
Yeah.
And it's quite boring. And we were still figuring out the whole virtual format.
It was rough, I feel like, technology-wise that day.
E tier?
Yeah.
Episode 7. I remember this one was, just prepping for it, we were so excited.
Yeah.
It was basically the first time we had tried out the format of us preparing things, like gathering materials. And I feel like this one was just really funny, personal, but like lighthearted. It's one of my favorites.
I still love Chantel's story. That was so funny. I mean, horrible, but funny.
Yeah. The widow?
Yeah, the pranking a widow, not realizing.
Yeah.
It was a fun episode. I thought that it was good. It was us sort of getting a footing of realizing that it didn't just have to be us coming with a topic to talk about and us just sort of like find ways to talk about this topic. It was us being like, you know what would be fun to do? And then us wanting to do something. Or I guess the Asian food one was also one where we're like, this would be fun to do. But this is the first one that was fun to do that worked.
Like, whenever we do personal episodes, I feel like it's this kind, where we're, like, not afraid a little bit to, like, make fun of ourselves or, like, just, like, have a really fun time, because it really pays off with the camera. Like, us talking about our favorite Disney movies, because we actually really care, right? Like, I feel like us talking about school and COVID, it just feels like, you know, we need to, like, give an update or like give our perspective.
This is what a cohort is. Like,
yeah, exactly. S tier?
Yeah.
Do we want to say?
So.
Yeah. Episode 8. Again, another one of my favorites.
Yeah, this one I like.
Yeah, it's the morality episode done right, I feel. It flowed really naturally, and all of our arguments actually were really densely packed. I think it ended up being one of the longest episodes, because Fun fact about this episode, we had more prompts to talk about, but we were just having such a good time talking about those ones that we didn't get to like half the stuff we had prepared. Oh, we're definitely doing a
Also, one thing I love about this episode is the cold open. I think it's very funny.
Which cold open is this one?
I took a clip of Diana. I was like, I could pee where
I was talking about of like metaphysical reality, and then it's just
I was like metaphysical. All right, episode 9. So, what did we say? So this one had a lot of potential, but I think it was we just needed to chop things down.
Yeah, it was too long.
It was, I feel like A.
Yeah.
Right, like it had the potential, like the idea itself was great, but episode 10. So, like it was a good podcast. It's wholesome. A little bit of humor in there, but it wasn't anything that was like stood out to me.
It
just kind of felt like another.
There was no...
this was the New Year's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think the issue with it was there was no, like, profound or new ideas we brought to the table. A lot of the stuff we'd been saying is stuff that had been said before. We didn't have really anything... No hot takes on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say B.
I think it was a nice episode.
I liked B. Yeah. Okay, episode 11. This is a fun one. We got experimental with this one. So I do like I wouldn't put it in S tier, but it's A for me.
I think our idea was good, but I think the results were a little underwhelming.
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was only because it was for a week. We didn't like.
And I think that was the
issue.
It
was like 4 days. Yeah. So if it had been longer, because like the ideas we had, like the stuff we were thinking of saying was very good, but we just didn't have that much stuff to show for it. So this one's like a B for me.
Yeah,
kind of in the same.
I was trying to come up with a lot to say about mine because I felt like I had to compensate for the fact that nothing really happened, honestly. There was nothing super profound.
Yeah. Episode 12, our most recent one that's out.
Yes.
The cheesiest, very wholesome.
I love it.
What do you guys think? For me, this was like an A episode.
Yeah, I think it's a solid A.
Like, because like it has the same type of introspective type thing, but it's definitely a lot more condensed and like full of substance compared to like an episode 10 or 11.
I remember being excited to share it with people. I was like, this is one where I want to show people who like, or especially people who I know are having like, some difficulties.
Yeah.
It's people. I did put a little disclaimer that the cold open is very embarrassing for me.
No, girl, you served.
Let me reenact it right now.
I don't know what
it was cute though. It was cute.
I took off my jacket and proceeded to be showing off my weenuses, and it was so awkward. It looked weird.
I was the one the previous episode with my toes spread. I had somebody tell me, why are you spreading your toes like that? And I'm like, I have been partially branded as a foot freak, which I do not. I do not condone,
you guys are talking about...
Dude, at least you can spread your toes. Mrs. Web Toes over here.
Miss Web Toes over here. Yeah, I'm just flexing, Gotta flex
I think it's good to laugh at our
flexibility.
cold opens because they are supposed to be
They're supposed to be funny, exactly.
They are.
Thank you for watching this episode of Chai Chatter and watching us get deep while the tea steeps. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to hear us talk about next, please leave them in the comments, subscribe, and for now, bye and cheers!